Did you guys know I start every single coaching session, I guess every single stream day, as I get out of the shower and finish up projects and get up my messages set up with singing for a few minutes? And I sing, and then I align my camera, and then I get the lighting right, and then I turn on the light up there, and I make sure I have water, and make sure you pet the cat. Hi, girl. She's sound asleep. And then a quick flex. Actually, I don't always do that. And then we jump in. All right, looks like we're ready. Appreciate you guys for supporting Swallow 2. I really, really appreciate you guys. It's been awesome to see the subs go up and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's all. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, I'm all right. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. Let me get everything pulled up on my end. I've got your form pulled up here, and then obviously I will have this recorded and sent to you. You know, I actually might have the link sent to you by today. It won't be done immediately, but I'll try to get it to you as soon as the session's done. So it's kind of uploading while I'm doing the next session, so you can go back and watch it tonight if that works for you.
All right, sick.
All right, perfect. So what got you interested in coaching?
I want to get better. Want to improve.
Sure. How long have you been playing?
Since Overwatch 2 came out.
Okay. What got you into the game?
It came out. I saw stuff about it, and I started playing it like a day or two after it came out, and low-key, I've been addicted. So
Sure. Okay. I'm seeing tank.
yes.
So that's generally not the. That's
The
almost
role of
never the
choice.
role that people immediately. Well, I wouldn't say necessarily the role of choice. I mean, everyone knows the tank players in generally are just not as popular for all games. But with
Yeah.
Overwatch 2, it's like, especially I think it's the first-person shooter genre. I don't know very many people that got in playing tank. It was more of like, I started with this and I played this. And that was how it was for
I
me.
didn't start playing tank. I started playing DPS
What
for
hero?
my first few seasons. So I played a couple heroes first couple seasons, but most of it was Tracer because that is the Overwatch hero.
Yep, of course.
Um, and then when was it?
The Tracer
Around
to Winston pipeline, the gateway drug. I know how that goes.
yeah. Well, actually, funnily enough, Tracer to Zarya pipeline. Um,
See, there you go. Tracking to tracking.
yeah. So around season 3, I started playing a lot more tank than my other roles.
Okay. Why?
And also climbed a lot, but like everyone did because season 3.
Yep.
Because I was like silver and gold in season 1. I think I climbed a major rank every season up until like 6 or 7. And I've been improving since then, definitely, but obviously it's plateaued a little bit
Yep.
because not as much to just learn
Yeah.
from at a higher level.
Sure, of
From a
course.
higher
It's
level.
harder to learn, and I think also it's coincided with season 9 rank resets and all that kind of stuff as well. So
Yeah.
you might have been improving, but like for example, when I got to Masters on Venture, I felt like I had to work a lot harder than I did when I got to
Yeah.
Masters on Pharah, the Pharah rework the season before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. So, why have you settled with tank? You talked about like kind of Zarya, and but
Because
what
tank
prompted
is
you to try it?
broken, the role is insane, and I'm a raid boss, especially now with the new patch. And
Okay.
that part is fun. I like being a raid boss. There's like a lot of responsibility in the role,
Yeah.
which is tough at times, especially mental wise. But
Sure.
at the same time, it's also like I can just have way more impact on the game on this role than any other one.
Yeah.
I make or break
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
much most games, right? Like so.
Yeah. Interesting. You you do realize that that's not the current popular opinion with tank.
Yeah, but I think everyone's wrong.
Okay.
Tanks are literally broken. Like put any other character in a 1v1 with a tank, who's winning?
That's true.
Like
That's true.
it's not the other character, you
That's
know?
true. That's true. So, what do you think you're lacking? Where do you think you've plateaued? Maybe we don't know what you don't know, but is there anything that comes to mind where
Uh
you feel like you've struggled with?
a lot of it's game sense. It's definitely game sense because I'm pretty confident in my mechanics.
Okay,
Uh I don't want to be like egotistical and
I
like
got
say I
you.
have the greatest aim of all time, but I have the greatest aim of all time,
I
perhaps.
got you. Okay, well, you're gonna have to compete with me on that front. I've had a lot of people tell me that. Wow, I've never seen aim like yours.
I
Wow,
looked at your
your aim is unbelievable. How are you still a coach? I think what they mean is that like I should be playing professionally.
yeah.
So
I looked at your Twitch today. I saw an old Cassidy clip.
Well, you could see the potential there right away. Like you could
Yep,
see it.
yep,
Like it
yep.
was there was it was actually pretty astonishing. Like that's somebody first time playing a first person shooter playing on a laptop, 30 frames per second, and you can't even tell. It looks like my monitor's turned off.
It might look like your monitor is turned off.
Yeah, it's like how could
Um,
anybody?
but
Um,
also, yeah, mechanics don't matter as much on tank
sure.
because that's not what the it's not really what the role's about.
I,
So
I would say they're overrated, or I would say they're properly rated. I would say they don't matter as a tank, but it's definitely not the first thing that
yeah,
comes to
yeah,
mind.
no, I agree they matter. I just don't think that like I think I have mechanics that are at a pretty high level, but obviously I am only like somewhere in masters. So
Sure. So you're saying game sense is lacking. Now, what I always like to say is that whether it's mechanics, game sense, cooldown usage, whatever else, I would say about 82.3% of the time, an in game problem is reflected with an out of game approach, if that makes sense. So
hmm
when you're saying in your session here, maybe work on some way of to develop a plan for future improvement, as well as go over what I'm lacking my gameplay and so on. It sounds like you're looking to improve the way that you're approaching the game in terms of like the game plan moving forward.
hmm
What do you feel is lacking? Because I'm looking at your form here. You say around 2 to 4 hours per day on average. That's not bad.
hmm
How is that time spent? How do you go in with goals to work on? One thing as well is your hero pool is a little bit expansive. You have 4 heroes, which isn't
Okay.
too bad, but that there's another
So
10% here where you play other heroes too.
I here's the thing, right? I basically one tricked Zarya until I joined a team.
Okay.
And then you can't one trick Zarya because she's not a real character in scrims.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Of
So I had to
course.
pick up other heroes.
Okay.
And so now I've kind of been playing like a lot of different heroes, maybe, but not all at once. So when a
Okay.
character is, I feel like I need to learn a character, I will put a lot of time into grinding that character and not really play a lot of heroes, even heroes that I quote unquote
Got it.
main very
I see what
much.
you're saying. I see. So you
So
do the
I'll
whole
play like
dynamic hero pool
2 or 3
thing.
heroes a season and then much less time on other heroes.
Okay.
So
That's
I feel like I have a lot of heroes that I can play, but not all of them I can currently play at a high level. Like some of them are kind of rusty.
okay. That's good. That's good. That's a much more productive way of approaching things. I call it dynamic hero pools, where you have the ability to pick up that character when it's needed in a couple of days, but you're rusty on it, and so
Yes.
you'll only be focusing on a couple of characters at a time.
So
Uh,
so like
that's good.
this season, like early this season, I felt like Doom was really strong. And so I just locked myself in Doom jail and ranked, and dropped to like somewhere in like Diamond,
Mm-hmm.
until I could climb back out, just playing Doom. So and
Okay.
now I'm pretty confident in my Doom in like scrims and stuff.
Send
So
me a screenshot of your career profile this season and last season, if you will.
yes.
Got it. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this up. I've seen Doomfist, Winston, JQ, Sigma, Diva, Mauga, Zarya, Orisa, Ram.
hmm
So your Doomfist adventure was great. Everything
Yes.
else is a train wreck.
What do you mean?
Well, there's just scattered so thin.
Mm.
You know, like you talked about, like you have dynamic hero pools, but what you're saying is that I play mostly Doom in this section of the season, but then everything else is a total mess. Like that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tanks, right? And even though you're like, oh, it's only 43 minutes, yes, but that's a pretty large percentage of even the time that you have in Winston. Like imagine if you'd taken your Ram, Orisa, Zarya, Mauga, Diva hours, just that, and poured that into Winston. You'd have like 11 hours, right? You'd have more than double the time.
Okay.
So I think you have the idea of what you should be doing right now, but you're spreading yourself so thin. Now, obviously, you talked about you're on a part of a team,
hmm
right? How often do you guys scrimmage?
Like it's been more since summer started, so maybe
Okay.
like 3, 4 times a week.
So what are your responsibilities hero pool wise on that team?
What do you mean?
What do you play?
Uh, mm, Recently we've been playing Monkey, Doom, uh, Queen, and some Ram, not very much Ram, and then
Okay,
Sig on poke maps.
okay. So then I don't want you to play Mauga or Orisa.
Oh wait, I have played a little map. We played a little map as well.
Okay. Okay. So I would talk with your team, even with your team, and I think that's way too many tanks for a team to be playing. Way too many tanks.
Okay.
Like you're playing the rock paper scissors like way too heavy here. Like you right now have like two tanks for every scenario. You have like three brawl tanks. You have like three dive tanks. You have like a poke tank. You don't need that. You could roll with Diva, Winston, Sigma, and that's all you would need, right? Or if you wanted to play a brawl tank because that's you guys run some brawl maps, okay, throw in JQ in there. You just don't need this much. And I know you're like, well, it's it's team. It doesn't matter. Like good teams don't play 7 different compositions. It doesn't happen, right? Even teams that lean more into the rock paper scissors, like Florida Mayhem back in the day, it was very like a simplistic rock paper scissors situation, and you're not going to be like my problem with what you're doing right now is you talk about like my game sense is struggling. Game sense is unique to the character,
Mhm.
right? Everyone goes, "Oh, game sense is just like you're smart when you I play this character, so I learn game sense." That's like it's like there are only a couple of skills in Overwatch that are universal, right? Like cover usage and ult tracking and pushing advantages and so on. But like, what is game sense with Sigma? Well, a lot of it is cooldown management and corner discipline, and then target priority and knowing to play your range and how to play your range versus different tank trades. But you're not going to develop that game sense if you're playing Sigma once every 2 or 3 days. You know what I'm saying? It's
Mhm.
just you're just not going to get that improvement. And you talked about this with your Doomfist, right? You just locked the Doomfist until you figured it out, right? Well, every character needs to be in that. Like you need to be as confident as you are with figuring things out with Doomfist, with Winston, with Junker Queen, with Sigma, and whatever tank that you decide to play. And with the amount of hours that you're putting right now, 2 to 4, it should be 3 to 4 heroes max. If you really want to, if you really want to improve. If the meta
Okay.
changes and everybody has to play Zarya, guess what? You play Zarya. If everybody has to play
I
Orisa,
would be so
you play
happy.
Orisa. Well, yeah, and I will say as well, like you can have that pocket pick. You don't have to be a meta slave, right? For example, like let's say you really like Doomfist, really like Winston, have to play Sigma some places, and just want to play Zarya just because she's freaking fun. Great, great, do it. Maybe you guys could figure out a composition with your team that works with Zarya, like a Reaper, Genji, Lucio kind of a comp, right? If not, have it as your ranked pocket pick whenever you feel like playing it. Go for it. I won't get in
Oh,
your way.
the other thing is, I think on the forum, I don't know if I said anything about a team, but I was playing collegiate then, but obviously now my collegiate season's ended, so I'm with a different team,
Sure.
and we're scrimming a bit higher than I did in collegiate.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
scrimming like 4-3, 4-4.
Okay.
Obviously, it's like
Yep.
kind of joke
Yeah,
4-3, four
I,
four,
I
but
got you. I got you. I'm looking at your season 9 profile now, and it's the same thing. It's better because you're definitely more top heavy with the Zarya Queen Diva Winston. That's all right. But there's still like so many hours wasted on Doom, Mauga, Sigma, even a couple of hours on Orisa. It's just inefficient use of your time. It's just inefficient
all
use of
right.
your time. Find a hero pool that covers all weaknesses, right? If you play Winston and they go Reaper, Bastion, Torbjorn on Circuit Royale, guess what? You probably should know how to play Sigma or Doomfist at least, right?
Yeah.
And so like you have your bases like Zarya Queen Diva. That alone is already pretty much good enough, right? It's not may not be perfect, but it's good enough in most circumstances, right? And certainly if you throw Sigma in there, you got all your bases covered. So you need to find out like on a month to month basis, what are my power three? What are my power three? What are my three tanks that I'm going to be leaning all my hours into, not picking the other crap ever? Now, if you're
All right.
screwing around in quick play after you've scrimmed and played ranked with friends, I don't give a rip what you play. Play Wrecking Ball. I don't care. In fact, I would avoid playing the tanks that you're training. But I do not want to see the rainbow profile. If you're really trying to improve, even if you are playing with a team, you do not want to see
All
the rainbow
right.
profile. Now, you don't have to necessarily lock down, I'm only playing one tank, that's all I'm doing. But you do need to find some sort of a middle ground between that and what's going on right now, because this is a mess. And that's how you develop game sense. That's how you develop game sense. You want to develop game sense with those characters? You need to play those characters. That's it.
All right.
Now we'll go in game and give you some stuff to work on, but yeah, that's by far the biggest thing here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Goals, improvement, and competition. Competition is really fun, and the game is incredibly fun at the higher level you go. So I want to get as high level as possible. Okay. I would say, what rank are you right now? M1,
Like
M2,
no, it's low top 500 on tanks. Like M4. I'm almost
M4.
M3, but
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
So let's I would say with the amount of time that you're spending with scrims and ranked, and then with your, if we can narrow down your hero pool, I think low GM is within the ballpark for you in the
All
next
right.
couple of months. Okay. I will also ask you, how often do you adjust your schedule depending on scrims? Is it every day that you scrim, you play a little bit of ranked or no ranked, or does it depend? Give me the breakdown on that.
Um, it depends on how much time I have with other stuff.
Okay.
It's not entirely consistent, which I know can be an issue, but
Yes.
I don't know. Some days I will scrim and then also play 2 hours of ranked, and some days I will not scrim and play 2 hours of ranked,
Okay.
2 3 hours of ranked.
Okay.
Um,
2 to 4 is the sweet spot for me. I think if you
yeah.
scrim, you shouldn't play necessarily more than 2 hours of ranked. Are you currently in collegiate, right? Like in college right now studying?
No, no, no. My semester's over.
Okay, so your semester's over. So you might be able to play more than that. 5 hours
Yeah.
would be 5 to 6 hours, right? But anywhere from 2 to 4 is really the sweet spot when you have a relatively busy schedule. If you're not scrimmaging that day, I do recommend at least 2 hours of ranked. I do recommend taking breaks while you're in queue, moving around,
Yep.
so you can refocus in. Okay. What do you feel is holding back from improving? You talked about game sense. You said some mentality. Talk to me about mentality really quick.
Um, yeah. I mean, I tilt sometimes.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie.
What makes you tilt? When do you tilt?
Uh,
Why do you tilt?
Sometimes in ranked, I pay too much attention to my teammates. I've been working on that. That's better for the
Okay.
most part. Like like it still happens sometimes, but it's like it, I don't usually like heavy tilt queue.
Okay.
Um, and then sometimes like I don't really tilt in scrims ever. It's if I do, it's more because I'm playing bad.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, like
So,
I don't like it when I play bad.
yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
what like because I feel like my uh it's not like playing bad as in like everyone plays bad sometimes, but sometimes I play really bad, and that doesn't feel good. So
Sure. 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 Why do you play bad?
I don't know. Sometimes I'm tired. Sometimes I don't know. It's just
Something to consider, because you talk about there's two ways to kind of address that problem. One is to not beat yourself up too much when you play bad or to work towards having more patience with yourself. The other one is just don't play so bad anymore. What leads you down that road, right? And you
it's
need,
probably the first one. It's
which is
probably the
what?
first one. I beat myself up too much when I'm not playing at a level I think I should be.
So let's say you're saying, oh, I make a mistake and then I beat myself up and then now I'm playing really bad.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, I would pay attention to that next time it happens. I know you maybe not be the most logical in the moment, but certainly after the emotions have settled down, maybe that night, get in the shower, think about the situation. What happened? What led you down that path?
All
And
right.
practice recognizing that and taking proactive action. Not just, oh, I'm tilted, how do I get over it? Because that people always ask me like, what do I do when I'm tilted? And I was like, stop playing, rest, go outside, touch. Like there isn't really a good solution. It's like saying, coach, what do I do when I have cancer? I don't know, but like chemotherapy, like you're kind of screwed at that point, right? But like you need to be
Yeah.
thinking before
Stage
that you
four.
get to that point, right? Exactly. Like what happens when you get to that point? Because at that point, it's like you're kind of already dug your hole, and so you need to think more about like the people that I know that are the best at managing their tilt are generally the people that don't get tilted or have worked at not getting tilted. Not saying that they just never tilt. I've worked with a lot of people that had a lot of problems with tilting, but most of the work was preventing them from getting to Hulk smash mode, not about how to get out of Hulk smash mode, right?
Yeah.
Right? Because at that point, the whole point is that because you're emotional, you're not thinking logically anyway. So how are you supposed to solve that problem? The tilt solution needs to be, I feel like I'm starting to get upset. Let's take some action now before I dig the hole any deeper. That needs to be the way of looking at it. And that could be taking a walk, reminding yourself of setting yourself goals, reminding yourself that this is not productive and this is not making you better. So if you're really interested in what's making you better, take some deep breaths, stop telling yourself how trash you are. Tell yourself instead, what do I need to be doing next fight? What do I need to be doing next fight? What do I need to be doing next fight?
All right.
And that's not, there's no real tricks or tips of that. It's just, you just have to practice it. But you're aware it's a problem. You have at least a sort of a game plan of what to do next time and what I need to be doing to help prevent it. So then go practice that over and over again. What is it works better for you? I think as well, that's where like knowing what you're working on as well can be useful. Because if you don't know If you're thinking, oh, I'm not playing well, that's such a broad general statement. So when you're scrimming and playing ranked, you should be judging your performance strictly off of the one thing that you're practicing. And if you don't know what that one thing is, then, you know, if you win, you lose.
Ranked?
Right. Exactly. Okay. You say mostly game understanding, mechanics are my strongest suit by far. So talk to me about game understanding. Is it just you don't know what you don't know, or is there something specific that you feel like you're lacking?
I think it's kind of, I don't know what I don't know. I'm like more confident in my like macro understanding, but it's also hard to apply that stuff in game a lot.
Talk to me about it.
Like sometimes like I can look at replay and I think I know what I should be doing, but it's hard to do that in game. But a lot of it is I just don't know what I don't know.
Okay. Well, we'll take a look then. Okay, I don't really have any other questions. Do you have any other questions for me?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, let's look at some gameplay here.
All right, let me get my code.
Sure.
Do you want a scrim code or ranked code?
I don't know. You tell me. It's up to
I don't know. What do you usually have success when you work with people in?
Both. It depends on what you want to work on. Your team understanding, your macro understanding, ranked habits. Both will. The good news is that both will go in either direction. Ranked habits will carry over in scrims. Scrims will carry over into ranked. So if you're trying to improve at either one will help.
All right. I did have a question about this phone, actually.
I think it'd also be good to pick a code where you were like confused about what to do, or the matchups or the situation.
Yeah.
Because that might be where the game understanding. Go ahead.
Yep. Okay, so this one I started off playing a little bit of RAM, and that didn't work very well. So I swapped. I should probably work on my RAM, to be honest.
Why?
Because I feel like the character's good, but also I could just play Doom into the RAM. So.
Yo, they changed the UI. Do you see the replay viewer?
Where did they change it?
Look how long it is. It used to be, it would start here. Like, see my mouse?
No, I cannot.
Okay, it would start like under the playback speed thing at the bottom there.
Yeah.
And it would go to like the hide thing, the bar.
Yeah.
The bar is like the entire screen now. Okay. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, they did. I know what's going on.
Yeah, there's a couple of UI changes they did Tuesday, like tiny little stuff like the health bars and stuff. Okay, so what would you like to look at here? I see RAM, Doom, Mauga. What do you want to look at? What is a priority?
Maybe a little bit of all three.
A little bit of all three. Works for me. Yep, let's do it. Okay. Mauga, I assume it's because of the RAM.
Yeah, partially.
Yeah. What is your job as Mauga?
Don't take a lot of poke, and then engage really hard with the broken shove ability.
You got it. Who's your target priority here? What space priority are we looking at here?
What do you mean?
Like, in other words, what range do you want to be playing in? What angles can you clear? Who do you want to be engaging on? Give me the full breakdown.
Oh, I want to go for either Soj if she doesn't have like slide or something, or Bap Ram.
Sure. Your job, and this is macro tank advice. You ready for this one? And this, by the way, applies to ranked as well. Your job as tank is to be a threat to the most threatening things on the battlefield. Okay?
Yep. Find who I want to mark and then sit on them.
And the obvious answer is, oh, well, I want to take the trade with Ram, or I want to pressure Sojourn, but I want you to get out of that mindset if you can. And instead, I want you to think about Overwatch as a sense of positions over persons. What I mean by that is, instead of thinking so obsessively about target priority, I want you to only think about target priority in terms of, can I help distract? Can I push them out, or can I not? For example, right now, which of these angles on the battlefield can you push out, and which can you not?
I can't really do any at the moment.
Okay. Why?
I can't. Well, because if I go for Bap Ram, they have Sojo from top right, and I'm gonna get shit
well,
on.
That's not even an angle, really. What's the definition of an angle here, right?
What do you mean?
What's the definition of an angle?
like a different area I can go to
Sure,
make it?
sure.
Oh,
It's
I
an
could go bottom right, like through
okay.
the
Okay, so an angle here
yeah.
is a position that you can put yourself in where you have all the enemy team in your sight line. You see this? So when you go for
Hmm.
the sojourn here, are you going to get flanked? No.
No,
If you were to go for the tracer here, would you get flanked? No.
no,
If you go straight onto the ram, would you be flanked? Yes.
yeah,
You see that? So it's not because, oh, ram, you don't want to go, you like rams never go for ram. No, ram's good. But like, let's say if the
yeah.
tables were turned, like let's say tracer was here and ram was here, you'd go for the ram. So the problem here is you got to ask yourself, which of these angles could you have in theory cleared? And the answer is the sojourn,
Yeah.
right? Now, why is the answer not the tracer? Because she's on an angle too. Why not tracer?
Because it's just that's not a character.
She's just too
Mauga's
fast,
really
right?
clear.
She's just too fast, right? So that's the only time target priority really matters for you is you asking yourself, can I actually chase and clear that target? And if the answer is no, then don't bother. So yes, you needed to clear sojourn here. So let's just play let's play
I
mind
meant
games here.
to go that height, and I missed my jump.
I got you, but let's bear with me. So you clear sojourn. Where does she go?
Either up and around or down.
Up and around, you chase. Not going to happen. She goes down.
Okay, so yeah.
So she goes down. So now what do you do? She goes down. Where do you go from there?
Now we have all the angles, and I can commit on them in like hotel area.
You just push on main, right?
Yeah.
And then you just shoot whatever you want. With Mauga, it's probably going to be the enemy Ramattra, get him into a Nemesis block cycle, just force bat pocket 24/7. And then there you go. You've won the fight. Congratulations. Everyone cheers and claps, and it's great. Okay. Now, the problem here, and this is why you can't let target priority dictate you too long or too much, is if you were to commit on the Ramattra here, what would be the problem?
I got no help.
You got no help. Why? What's the problem with the enemy
Because
setup?
the rest of my team is on different angles.
And that's it. That's it. And not just that.
They're not
but
on angles
how,
where they can help me.
And how lethal is the enemy, and how much space have you actually cleared by doing this is the key thing with the sojourn
What?
high. You see that?
Oh, like not very much.
Not
like
very
the
much.
The ram isn't at statue anymore.
Yes.
But yeah.
This is where space matters, okay? Your job is to be a threat to the enemy team. But your job is to be a threat to the enemy in one of two ways. Okay, you ready for this one? Number one, what are the most dangerous positions that I need to take care of? Number two, what are the easiest targets for me to take care of? Right? Are you on a target that you can take care of? No. Are you on a position that you can take care of? No. You're wasting your time.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, if you were here lambasting the Ramattra, you would have failed to have cleared the sojourn. But
And then I would get lambasted by the Shogun.
But you would at least be on a target doing things. Here is nothing. You are not a threat to anybody because you're too freaking far away.
Should I not wait for like my team to set up on angles where I can do stuff, or
Sure, you should. But this is where you need to be thinking about yourself. Stop thinking about your team. Even in a scrim environment, your job is to provide value to your team in a scrim environment.
yeah.
Right now, what threat are you providing? Right? There's nothing at all. So, like, let's say, what were your options here?
What right now?
Yeah,
I can go back right maybe.
go back right. What else?
Next
Give me
to
another
the
option.
telephone.
Be creative. Give me another option. Oh, hello, Lucio.
I could go all the way height for the Soj.
You could go all the way height. Give me another solution.
Go left. Is going left actually that good though?
It's not that good, but honestly, maybe at this point, forcing even out the trace or like just forcing her out might not even be that big of a deal. At least you're close to something. Because this is the thing. You're not effective at this range. You see this?
Yeah, but we also just got a tick.
Well, that's true. But is the objective a big enough reward to motivate you to get that tick? Was a tick worth it?
No, because I'm not doing anything to win this
Right,
fight.
you're not doing anything.
You kind of need to win the fight to cap.
Exactly. Like King is like, let's put it this way: the objective matters if you guys already had 2 ticks. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
Because then it's a legitimate threat. They have to do something weird. But the problem is that if we look at this fight from like just an overhead perspective, you've not really been a threat to anybody. Like even here, like of all the guys, this is when you should have gone for Soj. No.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though doesn't matter. Look at where the Sojourn is.
Yeah.
If you could choose, you always choose that. So now you're still dealing with tracer flank, you're still dealing with a sojourn angle, and you're wondering,
And my Soj died.
right? What could I have done? That well, You could have done
Could have
something.
been on the
You could have
Soj so
done
she doesn't rail
something.
mine.
Right. You could have done something. So, again, you need to ask yourself, where can I clear space? Where can I clear space by getting up close? That's the Mauga. That's the Mauga.
Okay.
Avoid ram shield, avoid ram shield. Now, what do you see here? Do you see it? You can see through walls, but you also saw the Sojourn drop. So now what do you do?
I can commit main because they don't really
Just
have
commit on
angles.
main. There's no space to clear. Go right on main.
All right.
Now, if you want to get
So
saucy
you're
with it,
saying that I should wait to commit main until the space is cleared.
you want, if the space doesn't need to be cleared, you just push.
Yep. Okay.
If there's space that needs to be cleared, clear the space first. Because the thing with Mauga that makes him better than Ramattra is not just the tank trade. It's the ability to clear space. Because Ram is too freaking slow.
Yeah. But that's true for other characters too, no?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
If you're playing Doomfist here, you'd never go in the Ram with the Sojourn on high.
Oh,
never.
yeah, no, absolutely.
Never. Winston, never. Never. Even JQ, you would have to find a way to rotate to where at least the Sojourn couldn't see you while you were tank trading, because it would just feel awful. Or with JQ, you would end up rotating where she couldn't see you at all and skip right to backline, take your own angle, right? But see, this is working because your Tracer is doing what you guys should have been doing earlier. Is she's contesting, right? She's keeping this angle busy. She's forcing this out, right? So now you're able to just do brain dead crap like this and get away with it, because the Sojourn hasn't been relevant this entire fight. You see this?
Yeah.
You see how easy this is? You see how easy that was? You guys win this fight now. Okay, that was it. Nice shot. But it was you did the right cycles, right? You avoided the ram shield, you committed on the BAP with slam and then cardiac. You see what I'm saying? Like, you did all the right things, but none of that would have mattered if the Sojourn on high had been uncontested.
Yeah.
So you got your cooldown cycle, timing's right, the stuff that you guys probably have talked about and you're very aware of. But you got to be really careful that you don't miss the forest for the trees. Okay, nice. We'll take it. Okay, so here we go again, right? Here we go again.
I might have gotten a little silly here.
Now, I'm not gonna lie with you. This is really brain dead in terms of when you're doing it, but what you're doing is really good. Why? Why aren't you committing on the man here?
Because they're on like a weird angle, and if I go up there, then I can clear that angle, and then we can commit main.
Exactly. The problem with this commit is what? What's the major error?
Team isn't set up.
Team isn't here. Team isn't here at all. So this is the right play at the wrong time. You're literally 2v5ing right now. So I expect this to fail miserably, but I do like what you're doing. This is okay. I mean, I thought for sure you were going to commit. This is, I guess.
No, I didn't, because we didn't have team.
Right. But even this here is just silly. Like, they're just going to beat this, and you're probably going to die with Ram Shield. And there it is. Yeah, you should have 100% died there. You should have 100% died there.
Yeah.
So again, I respect. And by the way, look at what happened when you did clear this out. Check out the angles here.
Yeah, they are
nothing.
Literally
no space at all. Your Sojourn can literally hard flank with Lucio here. You can go. Your Kiri can sit with you. Your Tracer has all the angles.
So if I wait a little longer here for my team to set up, then we just win this fight automatically, and it doesn't have to be close.
Zero chance. Zero chance. Right. Honestly, like, you should have died right here. You should be dead.
Thankfully, my Kiri is crazy.
Yeah, the Suzu is perfectly timed. Yeah. But yeah. Good play. Bad timing. And again, good play because you cleared the angles and then committed on main. Cleared the angles and committed on main.
Okay.
Now, if there's a brawl matchup where you can't clear the angles because you take too much damage, then you need to find a way to avoid the angle. So, like, let's say that you're trying to...
So, like, the queen going through hotel.
Yeah, exactly. Like, let's say they have a Sojourn Mercy and high, and you're playing Mauga. What can you do about that, right? You can't. But if you could go, okay, can I play close? Can I shoot and poke out the high a little bit, then commit on main? Can I rotate to here and take the tank trade, or even take the tank trade here?
Shoot people from here.
So the thing is if you can't control the angles, you try to avoid them as much as you can. Yes, exactly.
All right.
And that is definitely going to be true with Mauga, because so much of your hero is built around the tank trades that you're not always going to be able to clear every angle. You're not a Winston or a Doomfist, so you just have to take what's given. And like here, example, what do you think of your target priority? I mean, it's fine, right? Why? Because there's no angles, right?
Shooting ram means
there's just no right. They're just all on main. So just pop your cardiac and light them up. That's it. This is where Mauga is such an easy tank, because once you clear space, that literally every other tank does, you just do this. You know, you just do that, right? The only thing I will say is obviously just be in the lookout for Baptiste, because he is pretty easy to kill.
Yeah.
So while you're lasering this guy, you could be like, oh, I have cardiac, I can look for this BAP now, I can afford to go elsewhere. But like that will never be a really bad option with Mauga, because you know the matchup's just so heavily in your favor. The Ram has to utilize his shield really, really well to beat you. I would be a little bit cautious of doing, and you're doing the same mistake again here, right? Like you're corner peeking. Why is this such a bad error? Well, you see it.
Team's not there.
If this guy drops shield here, I know that they're down their tracer, so you're like, oh, we can push here, but it's still 4 people versus 2.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? So like what this Ram will do
so
is
I'm greedy. I'm getting too greedy just because I'm like, oh, I have pen, I can get out.
Yeah. Well, exactly. So what that means is then in the next tank trade, like let's say they actually take a fight in 5 or 6 seconds, you're not gonna have your CDs. So like let me put it this way: if this Ram pops shield and this Sojourn shoots you, which he should be, you will get your cardiac forced or your run forced 100%. 100%. So you need to be really disciplined with when your team can help you, and honestly, even discipline around like, okay, like my team's with me, but I see Ram shield. Don't peek. Don't peek.
Yeah.
Try to avoid peeking, just because that Ram shield is his best chance for winning that tank trade. So like there it is, right? Like if they were focusing you better and the Ram actually could hit his shots, there's your cardiac and run force already. Again, like nothing really to say here. It's Mauga.
Yeah, fun character.
I think you're trying to play around your cardiac before you ult, I think.
Yeah.
I will say that you probably don't have to do that. If you feel like...
I've gotten blown up a lot.
Well, this is where you need to coordinate this with your team, because they have nothing to stop you from just going in and killing them instantly.
Okay.
So then this is where you go, guys, I want to pop ult. Tell your Kiri, let's get ready to Suzu, right? You get in here. If I'm in this situation right now, there's no shield, there's no vortex, there's nothing. If you run right now and slam and pop ult, and then you get committal from your team, it's over. It's over. Plus bomb, it's over.
Okay.
And if you don't want to do that, then I need to see you run out and not try to save your run. Because let's be honest, if you're waiting for cardiac, you're not going to have cardiac for 8 or 9 seconds anyway. So just run.
Yeah, I can just run.
Just run out. Save it, because this is such a massive HP dump that it means that your Kiriko takes like 6 years to heal you back up again. And you end up popping it anyway out of panic. I think you guys win off of that, but yeah. Oh, no, you don't. That's disastrous. Let's stop there with Mauga. I think we have at least something to chew on. What do you got to work on with Mauga? Obviously the major team play thing, but a couple of Mauga specific things.
I want to clear angles, and if I can't, I want to avoid them before committing. And then I want to make sure I'm not committing before my team's there.
Check team's positioning prior to committing / hard. It's just even hard peeking, right? Because you lose HP so fast to this character. So I think in terms of your cooldown management, I think it was fine. I think the only thing there was the end when you needed to be more comfortable with, be okay with running on bad cooldown trade early. Okay, not even a bad cooldown trade, but okay, you got what you wanted. She pops ult, just run. It's all right. But I think in terms of like how to use your cardiac, it was fine. No real complaints. Once you got on main, just focusing Ram, then transitioning to BAP. It's not hard. It's Mauga. But yeah, okay, let's keep going. Any questions from that?
No, I don't think so.
So your skill check is going to be more about like when and where you can clear space with Mauga. And I think that's going to be where you're going to have to showcase your colors. Can you recognize those situations? There's Ram, there's Doom. Okay, let's look at some Ram.
I don't think I played Ram for more than like 1 or 2 fights.
Okay, well this should be short then. Ram, same rules as Mauga, but a lot more limited in terms of who you can clear space on. most important thing with Ram is just making sure that you're getting good cooldown value in the tank trades. A little bit of an unfortunate vortex.
Natural.
Yeah, okay, this is more of a team play issue. You guys just need to be decisive of where you're holding. There's a serious discommunication here. Because you guys are holding here. Let me be honest with you. If your team is holding this angle here, you have to be on statue and perma-hold statue. You have to.
Okay.
Otherwise, you allow them to clear out the I mean, you saw it. You couldn't really do anything. They just cleared out your off angle for free. Now that you could start there and then disengage early and just have your Sojourn Lucio play here and then you play here. That's good too. But you guys did like both and did both badly. You need to decide, are we fighting here with a single here? Are we poking a little bit here, transitioning here and holding here early where I can play here? You could literally see your confusion because you don't know if you should be helping or not. You see that? You're like, like, do I push up? Like, even the vortex, I think, feels like you're trying to help. Like this right here. Like, you're like, I guess we're hiding. Okay, no, we're not. Okay, now I'm backing up. It's a mess. It's a total mess. That's not your fault. It's your team's fault. It might be your fault, but it's your team's fault. You guys need to sort that out.
Okay.
So it's the same problem with the Mauga, like not fighting, like basically not as a team, and it's just you know, different. Okay. Number one rule with Ramattra. Place the vortex on a person, not a place. Even when you're zoning with your vortex, you need to be very specific about who you're zoning. This is zoning a tracer, okay? This is no bueno. Where should this vortex be?
On the Ram or Sojourn, bro.
On the Ram or Sojourn, right? Right on this, exactly at her feet, so that she's either forced to slide, dies, disengages, whatever. This is nothing. Useless. In addition to that, this is obviously a really bad shield. Why?
Because I have to play it like it's a bubble to get
I think
value.
you're thinking Bap's still alive, honestly. Or maybe you're scared of
No, I'm pushing
Tracer.
because Map's dead.
Okay, so then you're more concerned
But
about
the
the
shield is
Tracer.
just troll.
Yeah, you're more concerned about the Tracer. Sojourn and Ram is a way, way bigger problem with you. Way bigger problem with you. Even think about it this way, like if you really want to dig deep, after the season, the most recent changes, yes, Sojourn and Ram damage is hurt a little bit as well, but Tracer is the big one.
But Tracer just does no damage to my
Does
armor
no damage
anymore.
to armor, right? So you don't need to worry about it here. Like the shield needs to be on the two sources of the higher damage, not the one, right? So I appreciate you going this way, like if you were to like Nemesis block, but like that's just a giant mess. And that's why you get bursted down before you even Nemesis, because you're surprised. Because you don't have your shield. You take more damage than you expected. What you did there, your cooldowns, is a war crime. So be specific with where you want to put your vortex. Be specific about where angle or how do you want to place your shield. Because like, let's be honest here as well. Let's say the BAP is alive here. How would you use your shield? Would you use it to cut off his healing? Would you instead use it to press here? I don't know, right? I would say probably better to allow you to close the distance on Sojourn instead of cut off healing. But that's a skill you need to practice. Because with Ram Shield, there's like 4 different ways that you could use it. Cut off the angle, cut off the healing, win the tank trade, pressure the Sojourn, save it just to poke, use it to close the distance so that you can brawl better with Nemesis form. Think.
Okay.
Think. That's the best advice I have for you. Develop the skill of recognizing when and how to use your shield. So this is going to be a short one. Ram, place vortex specifically on target. Brain on. Shield. Think about how best to use shield in given circumstance. Brain on. There's no teaching for me here, right? Yeah. You knew these things already. Outside of maybe the vortex tip was just a good one, but like, but that's a skill you need to practice until it becomes second nature.
All right.
You needed teaching with Mauga in terms of clearing space and then going on main. You don't need teaching as much with Ram. You just need to be developing your skills of what you already know to do. Wait.
I tried to touch him, damn.
Yeah, I got you. Oh, nice. Wait, was that? That was definitely on purpose.
Yes. 100%. I knew she was going to blink there.
Poetry. You're incredible. I see the mechanical strength right here.
Yeah.
That's actually unreal. You're just so good.
Yep.
Obviously going to touch, but Doom into Ram is a pretty darn good matchup, I will say.
Yeah.
He can't really stop your engages. He feeds your punch really easily. You can bully him a little bit on main.
Yeah.
I mean, he has just nothing for you outside of maybe if he gets lucky with Vortex. Okay, so remember what we talked about with Mauga? Like you clear angles and then
And
you
then
commit on main.
yeah.
It's the same thing with Doomfist. A lot of people get stuck in this
Except it's
mindset of
easier to clear angles.
exactly. It's easier to clear angles, but you're a lot worse on main. But the good news is that doesn't matter because you don't necessarily have to commit on the tank on main. You can take the angle that you just cleared
Yeah.
and use it to
And then
commit on the
super
back
punch
line.
backline and one shot them
Exactly.
because Doom is
Exactly.
very balanced and fair.
Exactly. The thing with Doomfist is a lot of people get stuck on like the Sumito slam cycles, like cooldown in, cooldown out, cooldown in, cooldown out. But they always do it on main. They always do it on main, and that's a good way to like not lose a tank trade too badly. But you just basically
But it also only works if they 5-stack main.
That's it exactly. You don't get, and even then, you'd still rather just take the angle and actually provide some sort of a threat from a distance, right? The problem is that it doesn't really contest Sojourns and high grounds. It doesn't really contest the Baptistes. You're just going to basically bully Ram and never really get a kill. And all you're really doing is you're farming ult and putting out pressure. It's also a lot worse now that Slam does a much smaller percentage of your damage because it's still 50 damage for whatever reason. But yeah, like you want to take.
Yeah, true. I think we should buff Doom more actually.
I mean, I do think they need to shift the power away from Empowered Punch into Slam. I don't see.
Yeah, but it's fun.
I know it's fun, but you're an idiot, so I don't respect your opinion whatsoever. So yeah, just respectfully. So this is all fine and all because you're just being chilling, but like as like okay, now we're like here as a unit, you need to start thinking about like what's the staging for my next engage and who do I want to go on. So like the best way to think about Doomfist, and this will really simplify things for you, is don't think of yourself as a character with abilities. Think of yourself as a character with a shotgun. If you're playing Reaper right now, what flank are you taking?
Okay. I don't know. I don't play Reaper.
Okay, pretend you play Reaper. Where do you go? I'd say at least two options here.
Far left or top
Sojourn angle here, right? Like think about the damage you could do with your squirt gun here, right? And then same thing here. If you could stage here, or like you said, stage here and here.
And staging up there is broken as dive tank because
it is.
Then I have the silly high ground, we have two angles on them automatically.
So what happens is you have a good angle with your gun, and whenever you could say, "I have a good angle with your gun," what you're actually saying is that I have a good angle with my gun, and I have a good angle for my abilities too. So like think about the value of a punch here or a slam here. Same thing here, right? So you talk about doing your slam cycle, but do it from this position or do it from this position instead. Yeah. Think about how much more pressure you're going to put on those targets and the higher chance of securing a kill. And remember, the more threat that you are, the more likely you're able to charge a super punch too. So yeah, like I know what you're going to do here. You're going to slam in, punch out, yawn, 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 yawn. But the thing with Doomfist is you always need to be thinking about how am I improving my position for the next engage. Like right now, it's like you're doing good damage, but you're not improving your position for the next engage. And in fact, the only reason that this works is because they overextend, right? They overextend. So this is fine in terms of the mechanical cycling. It's the same thing with a Mauga, right? You knew exactly how to use your cardiac, how to use your run, right? Remember that? Oh, it's good. Good job. Everyone's proud. Gloves and kisses. But you just did it from a position where you almost died to a BAP window. And that tells you about all you need to know. And as you said, that's only going to work if the enemy team doesn't take off angles on you. When they do, you're screwed. Not really an angle you can take here, right? What's the problem with this angle here? It's not bad, but what's the problem? Remember, Reaper.
Too far away.
Too far away, right? Now you could drop punch here and maybe slam out. Something to consider, but it's not immediately like amazing. So maybe here, it's okay to just hold choke.
Yeah.
Good. First opportunity you take, as crazy as it sounds, a mini angle. Just skip the ram, go for backline. And that's where your impact is hurt, right? You see that? It's good. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. And I suck.
That's okay. We knew that already.
Damn.
No, I could definitely see the Doomfist practice. Like, I mean, it's good. Yeah. It's good. The cycling is good. The cooldown usage is mostly fine. Yeah, no real complaints for me. So, your Tracer's dead. And I know she's going to be back soon. But you know where this fight's going to happen. Right? And that's good news for you. Like, you would have liked to have held the choke, but that's all right, because now you got a playground to work with. Again, you need to be thinking, well, how can I improve my positioning? Right? And we already know where you need to be, right? At least one of 2 spots or 3 spots, right?
I can even go far left, but I don't think we're far enough to.
You could even sit here and
I don't think we're far
sneak,
enough up
sneak.
to hold that.
You
But
know,
I do think that can be
But
good.
who cares if the payload comes to here? What would you do back here, right? That's a staging opportunity, and you're running the comp that's perfect for that as well, because you can get your Kiriko to come with you. All right, so this is just basically the Doomfist slam cycle. This is just Doomfist slam cycling. This is all you're doing, which is like level 1. All right, we got to level up. Like, even here, you have this entire lane given to you for free because your Sojourn and Tracer are actually taking angles that you're not, and instead you're like playing patty cake with a robot.
Well, don't I need to be on main if my Soj Tracer aren't? Because otherwise they just get to walk there for free.
No, who cares? So what?
Yeah, but what do I gain by being on the same angle as them?
Remember, what's the goal of Doomfist? What's the goal of Doomfist? What's the goal of Doomfist? If you were playing Deathmatch, who would you play patty cake with? Ram? Or Bap? Bap, okay? So why are you going for Ram?
Well, doesn't he just walk on my backline here if I'm going for Bap?
Sure. So you're saying here, my priority is making sure my backline can hold the angle by me tank trading here. So that he prevents from going onto my backline. Correct?
Yeah.
I understand that. That makes sense to me. So then ask yourself, when would this not be necessary? Because maybe you're right. Maybe this is I need to defend my backline here so that my backline can hold this powerful angle. Sure. So when would this not be appropriate?
When he's not there to shoot them.
When he's not there. How about if your Sojourn and Lucio were here instead?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if they're not on that position, then I don't have to.
They can't be pushed, right? Yeah. They can't be pushed. So and the other thing with Doomfist as well is because Doomfist can displace people, this is actually useful. But like, let's say this was like a Winston.
Oh yeah, I would be useless there.
You would have to trade, right? You'd have to trade. So yeah, it's a good point. You make a good point. I would say generally, the goal is to think selfishly about staging your own value. Generally. Okay. This is definitely one of those exceptions where it makes sense to do what you said. Because you could actually defend versus the enemy tank, and because your backline was on a pushable angle by Ram. Very rarely will that be the case. And this is one of those situations. Where should you be staged? Where should you be staged?
Maybe left.
Frankly, left. This might even be where you could hide up here. Because look at where your team is positioned to fight. It's right here, right? You could get up here.
This is our box.
You could get up here. Exactly. You could Kitsune rush from your Sojourn up top. You drop punch from this angle here. There's no reason to mark Ram here. Ram's not a threat. I do like, obviously, your target priority. You are taking, it's the same thing with Mauga. You're going for BAP when you can.
I think
problem, yeah, that was not great. But the problem is that I think that you could be staging better when given the opportunity. That's the big thing. Same thing here, right? Take the top, because you're letting them out of the choke anyway with your setup. So take the choke.
And okay, so if we want to be fighting there, then I might as well be in a better position to fight there.
Yep.
Because right now
we're not fighting here.
I either get forced back or I.
Yes. Okay. We're not fighting here. We're fighting here. So then now this is a perfect position for you. Again, if you're playing Reaper here and dropping and shooting here, that's really good, right? Really good. See, now you're doing the slam cycle, which is not bad.
But it just is not as much value.
It's just not as much. And I'll show you exactly what I mean. Watch this.
Yeah, my backline can't do what they want to do because...
You're just not... You see it like you're just not a real threat to any of these guys and haven't been this entire fight. Right? Even though you should have had the lethal position up here.
Okay.
And so that's where it goes from being like, it's in your backline's best interests for you to be pressuring backline because that's the biggest threat to them. is the Cassidy, not the Ramattra. The Ramatra's on the floor. You can't reach them. Because that's what tanking is really about. It's about being a threat to the most dangerous thing on the enemy team that's most favorable for you, right? That's why Winston generally doesn't bubble his backline. Why? Because he can't help you versus a Roadhog, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he can't help you versus the Ana and the Zen and so on. Improve your positioning. Where do you go? This one's trickier. Where do you go?
I like where I am now.
Okay. Give me some more options. Give me some options even earlier in the fight here.
Oh, I could have gone farther left.
Farther left? This is too
like
far.
No, not that far. Like the other door.
This here? Better. Give me another option.
Height? I don't like height there.
Too far, right?
Yeah.
Too far. Give me another option. There's another option. Oh. Look carefully.
Above the ring?
Would a Reaper like it here? Yep. Really short angle. And a nice angle for you too, right? So, yeah. Get up here. Get up here with your Kiriko. Do something corny. Drop punch. Sit here and shotgun. You can just sit up here and shoot. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. that was the squirt gun noise. You know, and just shoot here, right? It's an option, right? Yeah. Maybe you can't stay there for long. Maybe the Lucio pokes you out. Maybe the cast has to throw Hinder and the Lucio pokes you out. It's an option. You'll take it. But I agree. This is not bad.
Not gonna lie, I learned half of my King's Row angles from watching Hanbin VOD.
No, who's VOD?
Hanbin.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see why this works? Look at the Ram.
Yeah.
He turns on you. His block is one direction. Like if there wasn't the high noon, the Ram dies.
Because then to push me, they have to peek my whole team.
Exactly. There's some mobility privilege.
Generally, why angles are good though.
Yep. Yep, I agree. Splits. The enemy has to turn their back. Nice. I'll say as well, like coming out of ult, it's one of the trickiest decisions that you're ever gonna make. You've just seen him drop from his jump. You should tap punch this. Right here. Tap punch. Don't slam. Don't slam. Yeah. Because the rule with the slam is it's used to avoid CC or if you want to set up the punch. But if you have a free punch here and you know he doesn't have Hinder, right? Just tap punch. Because that's what that means is that you're going to use the utility of your power punch and then you're going to have slam to get out, right?
Yeah.
So just in case there's any lower rank Doomfists listening into this VOD later on, you generally slam out is a really good way to avoid CC. And I would say slam out like 60-70% of the time. But if you do have a guaranteed safe punch, even if it's just a quick no charge punch into a wall, you need to look for those opportunities so that you can get a better disengage with slam. Even just like using that tap punch and then slamming to high ground would have been really, really nice. But yeah, TLDR is that it is a complicated choice, and that might be a good ranked drill, is every time you use ult, try to make that read quickly. And then if you make the wrong read, go back and evaluate why was it the wrong read, what ability should you have used instead. Improve your positioning, right? Improve your positioning. Yeah. With where your team is positioning here, I'm wondering if you should be up here with your Tracer. With Kiriko.
Or left. Right?
I
could have gone left.
Or left. Yep, you got it. So you're thinking in the right way right now, right? You guys got beat. You guys got pulse. You guys are holding close, playing for 2 fights. And see, now you've abandoned your Tracer, so your Tracer's kind of screwed. Your Tracer should die. Everything is basically praying that the enemy squishies walk close enough for you to trade on them. Your target priority is wrong, your staging is not. Or target priority is correct, excuse me. Your staging is not.
Yeah, so like this is where I should have been last fight.
Yeah. But you're so thirsty.
Oh, and then I gave it up again.
But yeah, you're super thirsty. Like you want that damage, you want the slam cycle, you want the dopamine, right? You want the dopamine. I understand. Good. It's just because, like, let's put it this way. When you have utility, I'm going to make a video on this at some point, but utility is not just, like, get out of jail free cards. Utility is responsibility. If you have mobility and all you're using is to just kind of slam cycle on main, you are wasting your life. You're like the
Yeah,
equivalent of like a 6'7"
that's not what I do on
guy
Diva or
with a
Monk. Why am I doing
45-year-old
it on Doom?
right, exactly. You have like a 45 inch vertical jump, 6'5", and instead you're doing nothing with your life, living in your parents' basement instead of playing for the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Like you're wasting the gifts that you have.
Oh, I don't have either of those, so.
Right. Well, I do, so I can tell you.
Okay.
Another situation where it needs to be tap punch.
Yeah.
You see it. Just because it's a free punch, you've seen Suzu. She's not going to be able to TP away in time. If you slam this, you're giving her more time to TP away, and then also just basically meaning that you're not going to get out of here. So this is just a mechanical mess. Which I am not. I'm obviously. What happens here? What happens here? Did they C9? Or did they just actually die?
No. The fight goes on long enough.
No, they C9. They C9.
Didn't I?
Yep.
Oh, I forced the C9. All me.
The goat. Okay,
Sure.
Doomfist. What do you
got? Use mobility for more than
mobility,
farming damage, even though
staging,
it is fun.
lazy,
Reaper, shotgun, staging.
Think Reaper, shotgun, angle, staging. The thing is like
and again, I need to pay attention to where my team is positioned and where they want to fight, so that I can position for that, and I'm useful in the fight and not just AFK.
Right. So you can complement their setup. Keep an eye on CD after ult micro. Okay. Any questions?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. Do you understand what I'm saying when it comes to the scrim for ranked for scrim? All of these are practicable in ranked.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
They're going to be scuffed in ranked because my teammates are not going to do what they should.
Right, but you can still turn around and check where people are and then play accordingly.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that this is something that you want to put some emphasis on. And then obviously the big thing for you is going to be about cleaning up your hero pool a little bit. Don't feel bad about changing your hero pool, but do feel bad about playing. If there any week goes by and you have played like 3 games on more than 4 heroes, then you've probably screwed up. Let's put it that way. If you play a casual Zarya game or Hog game, okay, actually yes, if you're Hog game, screw you. But like if you play the occasional Zarya game, it's not the end of the world. But you do want to like make that a little bit tighter. Okay, no other questions?
No, I don't think so.